Hello and welcome to the Avaya Breeze Collaboratory Rapid Onboarding video series. This video is intended for users of Collaboratory, Avaya's hosted Breeze development sandbox. Many of the topics discussed will also be useful for those with premise Breeze deployments. Collaboratory customers will have had their credentials securely delivered to them through our portal. They will have obtained a piece of information similar to the document I'm showing now. The primary pieces of information in your access spreadsheet will be your universal customer name and password. Also important will be the hyperlink for access to our Collaboratory wiki. Go ahead and open that link right now in the browser of your choice. You will be presented with a page walking you through the steps needed to certify your desktop. The certificate is required for use of our 1X agent or communicator voice over IP clients. They will also eliminate the security warnings for System Manager and other elements, so we recommend that you install the certificate into the root location. Follow the steps for the browser or operating system that you're using. Once you've done with that, you can browse to the secure page of our website, which will bring you to our Collaboratory wiki. The wiki has all the information you'll need to continue your development. It contains links to the courses offered by the Avaya Learning Center, a link to this quick tour, as well as steps for obtaining support. For instance, our collaboratories are not allowed to arbitrarily call any numbers, so that any test phone number you would like to dial from this lab environment will first need to be whitelisted. Likewise with email addresses. Your company's domain will likely have already been whitelisted for email, but if you wish to test to any other email addresses, or if you wish to make test calls from this environment, you can send us an email and let us know those numbers, and we will whitelist those so that your lab can contact them. The second bullet gives you information on how to report and respond to issues with your lab environment or to obtain advanced development support. So you can visit our Collaboratory support at support.avaya.com, and from there you'll need to sign up for a single sign-on if you don't already have one from Avaya, and you can use the sold to information from your lab access spreadsheet, and that'll be the field at the bottom there. The third bullet point gives you a link to our DevConnect forums. This community-supported forum is well moderated by Avaya staff and a growing number of community members. So you can get self-service help on Breeze and design help and other such questions. But questions about Collaboratory specific operatings won't be answered here. So for that you would go to the support forum that is hosted by Avaya. The resources and documents section starts with a user guide wiki. This is a phenomenal piece of collateral that provides a very thorough description of the lab environment and all of the software elements that are available here. I recommend spending some time with this user guide and getting to know the contents and checking back if you have questions. The next bullet is your lab's information, and that page will give you all of the unique URLs, IP addresses, and other information that are associated with your lab. The next link opens a link to your client software and soft phone downloads. Then we also have information available for Java developers, starting with the link to download the development environment and the SDKs. We also have information about Avaya's Snap Store onboarding and links to there, so you can check out the other Snap-in offerings. If you're intending to create a Snap-in for sale at the Snap Store, I recommend that you browse the information contained in this information. And then there's some general configuration and restrictions information below, which you can peruse at your leisure. But for the most part, this resources section is where we'll be spending most of our time. So as I've been describing it, I've opened many of the collateral onto separate tabs of this browser. So we'll go ahead and have a look at the user guide, which again is very thorough and will walk you through step by step all of the steps needed to get off to a quick start and develop any nature of snap-in or perform integrations in this lab. The next link was for the Your Lab's information, and this gives you the direct links to log into the System Manager and Engagement Designer, the Eclipse development server in your lab, along with some sample applications and reference clients that we provide, such as those for WebRTC, mobile video, web call controller, real-time speech, and message recording sample app. It also has a link to our media server. The DID numbers provide you with inbound access into these labs. The first phone number will lead to any logged in voice over IP extension that you might have logged in, or it can be set up to perform call intercept for an inbound Breeze application. So this is the primary number you'll be working with for Breeze inbound calls. So you should go ahead and take a note of your phone number. And the second number is there for any work you might wish to do with Scopia. And so other details provide you with the SIP extensions and specific settings in order to set up your soft phone clients. And then the last table gives you the specific IP addresses and host names of your lab environment. Since most of our customers are here to explore Breeze, we'll go ahead and start with the System Manager link. That will open a new tab in your browser, and I should note that you click the external link, and then you can sign in with that universal customer ID and universal password. Depending on your specific lab configuration, you may have access to some or all of the elements shown here, like Communication Manager and Session Manager and the Presence node and media servers and user administration and things of that nature. So your user access will provide you with an administrative level of access into this Aura system. You can also use that to create additional users with more memorable passwords or lesser access. So we'll go ahead and open the Breeze element now, which will open in a new sub-tab of the same browser. This will open to the cluster administration, which is the second link down if you ever need to navigate your way back here. Cluster administration will list each of the clusters that are installed. For a standard Avaya Collaboratory, there are two. The Avaya cluster, which houses applications like Presence and Contact Store, and then the customer cluster, which is an open cluster that holds the Engagement Designer and is there to launch or ingress any new snap-ins you might wish to deploy. So this table of access has a last column called a service URL. You might have to scroll to the right to see that. It is from this service URL on the customer cluster that you can launch the Engagement Designer. I'll go ahead and do that now by selecting Designer Console URL from the service URL drop-down. Okay. And while that loads, you can also navigate. And so Engagement Designer loads in a separate tab of the browser. And I went back to the System Manager tab to also load the admin console from that same service URL dropdown.